accused of stabbing, or he did stab. He said it himself to the police when they came up on him that he did stab Austin Metcalf. You know the story. I've done plenty of videos on this on the channel. That's Hunter, the brother, and Karmelo Anthony said that he was protecting himself because they put hands on him right here. Unfortunately, in Frisco, Texas, this is where this took place. And of course, the family has taken a lot of criticism. I'm going to address some things in this video tonight around more misinformation as it relates to the family and what they've been going through, and people accusing them of spending money on this and asking for $1.4 million. We're going to put all that into place here, and we're going to fact check that. Is it true? Is it nonsense? Another thing, again, TikTok, I want to put this up here properly. TikTok really exposed the father of Austin Metcalf. I mean, really got exposed. This man right here was exposed as he was on a panel. There was a sister by the name of Just Me who has a TikTok page, a pretty big TikTok page. She had a panel on TikTok. I don't really hang out on TikTok. I got a couple of TikTok pages. I just haven't started doing anything on TikTok like I do over here, but I'm seriously considering throwing my head into TikTok and putting up reels on TikTok, and maybe even cutting some of the content from this channel like you do when you do YouTube shorts. Okay, what do y'all think about that? I got the Information Man TikTok channel, which I haven't posted anything on there and God knows when. So I'm going to probably revamp that and start getting on there and speaking my mind too. But this is where this whole thing took place with this man right here. He was on there. I think they were into it. They were in a heated discussion. I'm going to show you the audio and the video. There was a heated discussion on this TikTok page on Just Me, surrounding Karmelo Anthony and the whole circumstances around the young brother. And you see him right here. I don't show, I try not to show the mugshot. I've had someone leave a message and say, hey, stop showing that mugshot. I don't want to show the mugshot. I want to show the young man in a dignified manner. And so I show this picture more often than any other anymore, because I don't want to show that picture. I just don't think it dignifies a young man, because in my opinion, he did have a right to defend himself. I'm not saying that young men, I'm not recommending that anybody, kids, teenagers, or adults, that you solve your problems by fatally stabbing someone. I'm not trying to say that at all. But I also know that people do have the right to protect themselves if they feel that their body, their person is in threat. See, this is the thing that people are not realizing here. Karmelo Anthony told the police officer, which he should have never said anything to the police officer, because he had the right to remain silent under the Miranda rights. And the cop, knowing that he was a minor when he came up on him, should have told him, you have the right to remain silent before he started saying anything to the police officer, because it can be used against you in court. And this is definitely a fact, everybody. But Karmelo Anthony admitted in the situation that, hey, I did the stabbing. He didn't run. He didn't try to hide away. He was there, and he took on the situation straight up with the police, asking him questions. And just like my man from Defiant Lawyer, who I did a video on this channel, said that the cop was wrong not to give him proper Miranda rights immediately. And see, this is what police like to do. They like to catch you off guard so that they can get you. They can get a get you moment on you. And so this whole situation over a track and field meet, people were saying that Karmelo Anthony had no business there, but he did have business there because he was an athlete. He was a scholar athlete. He was on his way to college, potentially getting a college football scholarship. And we also found out in the other video I did where you had Carmelo Anthony's father's friend who said that the young man was interested in scholastic standards, interested in aerospace. He wanted to be an aerospace engineer and study space. And that's fantastic. He was not just an athlete on the track or football field, but he also was about the classroom because, of course, they were going to try to dirty up his character, which they could not. He also had a job at Foot Locker. I had that Foot Locker picture of him at Foot Locker, and I forgot to put that in my system. Sorry about that. So, yes, the stabbing was terrific, was terrible, but we're not talking about a young man that's a complete thug as he was made out to be in the media, and the media dragged him and his family. They lied and said the family was spending money on GoFundMe, on lavish cars, vacations, and a house. And I told you all, and I showed you the proof on this channel, that the vacation that they took was in 2023. People are using stuff that don't even fit. The car that they had, I believe, was a trade-in because they had a GMC truck and may have traded that in for the Escalade. The vehicle that Carmelo Anthony got was a birthday present that he got prior to all this stuff. See, the problem is, and I said this in the video that I did before, that people expect black people to live in squalor. They expect us to live in the projects. They expect us to be like the show Good Times, where everything goes bad for us. They were living in trash. We're living in the dilapidated housing. And so they don't live in that type of way. So therefore, oh, these black folks are running a scam. And then we even got black folks that are pushing these narratives that I'm going to get into tonight that are not necessarily true. Because I think we hate one another. We're quick to hate on one another. But nobody's questioning about how Jeff Metcalf and his family is living, how many cars they have. No one's talking about that. They're demonizing the family, and they have every right to spend some money. Now, it was put out there that the family needed to spend money for security, for safety, and to possibly relocate. And the house that everybody kept claiming that they owned or they spent money to buy, come to find out, potentially it was they were renting the property. They didn't own the property. But I want to get into this because there was rumors, and I had to edit down this video because you gotta have stuff substantiated. But there was rumors that Jeff Metcalf had a criminal history in which he did something of an inappropriate nature. And some people said, nah, that's not him. That ain't true. But there was stuff put out there that he might have had a criminal background in the past. Allegedly. Allegedly, folks. TikTok exposed him. It completely exposed him, and I'm going to show you that video. But what I want to do before I show you the video that exposes him, I want you to give you some comparison and contrast. Remember when I did a video on this subject matter or on this particular issue way back when? And in that video, there was some guy named Jake. I think he's a member of the Proud Boys. He's trying to cause a lot of issues. Donald Trump, your racist, white supremacist president, let him out as one of those January 6th members that they let out. You think they would let black people out? If black people had stormed the White House, you think they would let us out? Hell no. He wouldn't have let us out. We would have been in there to rot. But he let all those January 6th criminals out, and this guy, Jake, was one of them. Well, he was running off at the mouth about how all his life black people had beat him up. And then he got on the phone with Jeff Metcalf, and Jeff Metcalf told him, get my son off your poster. It's people like you that create racial divide. Now, when you saw that, you thought, oh, okay. I even said on that video, okay, I give him some credit for saying that. We're thinking, okay, he ain't with that stuff. Well, the TikTok video exposes him for the lie he is. He said that to that guy, but deep down in the deepness of his heart, deep down in Texas, that racism is in him. And it came out in the way he used a racial slur, the N-word, towards a black woman. Now, of course, it was a heated argument. One of the black women on the panel called him out as a despicable individual as they were going back and forth, debating with him about whether Karmelo Anthony had the right to defend himself in this situation. Did he or did he not? I'm not saying that stabbing someone is the way to go and that it's a good thing. But right now, if the young man is telling you that he was defending himself in the police and he told the police that, then we should at least wait and see what happens in the trial. Another thing I want to clean up that was put all over YouTube is that there's a video. Everybody kept saying, oh, there's a video, and the video proves that he was the aggressor, that Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor, not the Austin twins or the Metcalf twins. It was Karmelo Anthony. Oh, yeah, there's a video. Every single one of you content creators out there, I'm calling you out, every single one of you didn't have any visual proof. You put in your titles that there's a video. I even had someone leave one of these goofy messages in my comment section. There's a video. Guess what? None of you have seen the video because you can't see it. It's unseeable. You've already had reporters, and I played it on that last video I did, where the reporter, a professional reporter, came into the police department at Frisco, Texas to look at the video, and he said you couldn't see anything, that it was blurred, that it was one of those TC whatever cameras from far distance, and you could only see a corner, a left high corner, and it was all blurry, and you couldn't tell whether Karmelo Anthony was aggressive, whether the Metcalf twins were aggressive. You couldn't see Karmelo Anthony stabbing Austin Metcalf or not. You couldn't see anything. It was pure, poor view. All the reporters said that it was a negative on it. It wasn't enough to make the judgment of anything. But then you had this British rag, the Daily Mail or whatever the hell it's called in Great Britain. Their reporter lied, embellished his story, and made it seem like he saw the whole video clear and said, oh, well, Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor. Come to find out, every other reporter said they couldn't see anything and there was no proof. So therefore, until they clean that video up or can clean it up, or they get the video of people that were there, because we know that they took people's cell phones away from them, it's only the jury that will be able to see clearly in vocal point meaning you can not only see but hear. Nobody on the YouTube streets has such video that I know of. And people need to stop saying that the video proves that he was not doing self-defense when the reporters, news reporters have already said you can't see shit. So let's stop that lie right now. Now, let's get into this right now, what you've been waiting for.
Tell the truth.
Tell the damn truth and shame the devil. Here comes the comparison and contrast. Here's the young lady who is making a deal out of this situation right here. Check this out. This was the guy I'm talking about. Check this out.
Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position, not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time.
Here comes the white supremacy talking points. He says he grew up around black people and that they were killing and harming people around him all the time and bullying him. The white boy is a lie. He should be in prison right now. Trump, the white supremacist president, gave him clemency and got him out of prison with the rest of those criminals. This man never grew up. I think he's from New York. He never grew up around black folks. He's from upstate New York. He grew up in an all-white community, suburb, I believe, in the New York area. The man did not grow up in any area where he was in close proximity to black folks. He says that all his life he's been bullied by black people doing harm, and he didn't even grow up around black people or were in a community that even had a black population like that. Let's go back and let you hear some more.
Not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that it shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And
No,
I don't
they weren't. You didn't grow up. First of all, black people are not the only ones that can steal and rob. White folks rob and steal all the time. Go look at the FBI statistics. Matter of fact, I think white people in general lead in overall crime in this country, and you guys lead in commercial theft, car theft, all sort of theft. FBI statistics, their statistics, not something that I created. Let's continue.
And as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you've chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not stand with me and with the rest of the people? We're not calling for racial divide. We're not calling for hatred. We're saying 350,000 attacks on white people by black people a year in this country is wrong. Why can't
Right now, if you guys look that up right now, that's a lie. There are more racial attacks on black people than there are on white folks in this country.
you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
Let me do this real quick. I want to shut what he's talking about. In 2023, everybody, there were approximately 3,027 reports. 3,027 reports of hate crimes, including targeting black people in the United States, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. This number represents over half of all races based on hate crimes reported in 2023. Black individuals were the target of 22% of all hate crimes in major United States cities in 2023. In addition to that, an ABC News analysis of the FBI data from 2020 to 2022 showed that black people, okay, I'm just giving y'all the damn truth here, showed that black people were targeted in 52.3% of all reported hate crimes. It's important to note that these stats, they likely represent a uncount of the true number hate crimes, meaning there's probably more hate crimes, even more than that have not been reported. This white boy is sitting up here telling you that all his life he's been attacked or he's seeing black folks robbing and doing this. And I'm sitting up here telling you through further research, he didn't even grow up around black people in any capacity in the community that he grew up with. So he's a liar. Now, let me let you hear what Jeff Metcalf is going to say, and you'll see the comparison and contrast that he's talking a good game here, but you're going to find out that he don't really believe what he told this man right here. Check this out.
Are you done?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any.
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk. Of my son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
In history, this is the ship where white people will no longer.
All right, everybody. There we go. So right there, he clearly talked a good game and told a fellow racist like himself now that he didn't want to get into the racial divide, but yet he showed his true colors on TikTok, y'all. And here's the contrast. On TikTok, this young lady, probably after hearing him speak like that some time back, oh, she had good things to say. But I'm wondering what she has to say about him now that he has exposed himself on TikTok. Check this out.
So I just saw a video of Austin Metcalf's dad standing up against the Proud Boys. And when I tell you, it's something that you need to watch, because with everybody's opinions on everything right now, this is a video that you really need to watch. So the leader of the Proud Boys, he's telling Austin Metcalf's dad, like, he knows that Austin would have grew up to be a Proud Boy and a member of the Proud Boys and everything. You know, basically just trying to tell him that the Proud Boys are behind him. So the dad was like, can I speak now? Can I speak? He was like, because you're part of the problem. You are creating more problem. You're creating racial divide, and I'm not standing for that. I don't stand for that. So he was like, and now take my son's picture off your website. So the guy, the leader of the Proud Boys, he was like, oh, well, then you're going to create more Metcalfs. You're going to create more weak Metcalfs. You are weak. You're weak. You're weak because that man he's weak because he don't want to stand for racial divide. Because he wants to grieve in peace and not create racial divide.
Now, the sister says that he wants to grieve in peace and not create racial divide. But the problem is he did just that when he was on that podcast on TikTok that I'm going to show you in just a moment. Let's continue.
That's not how he raised his kids. Clearly, you're seeing that now.
Clearly, we're seeing it now that that's not how he raised his kids. But now, just recently, he was on a TikTok live stream and he showed his true colors, y'all.
Tell the truth.
True colors.
Tell the truth.
And I can't wait till you guys hear it. Let's continue. All right. That's it with that. All right. So obviously the sister was feeling that he was not about the racial divide, but I'm here to tell you tonight and show you that he is definitely down with the racial divide because he exposed himself, and I'm going to let you see that tonight very soon. Now, let's get to the comments that were put in her section when she did this video. Check this out. Sister right here says, Austin's dad has exhibited character of a Christian in the midst of a deep pain and grief. Now, I'm not going to deny that the father is not going through any grief. You lose a child. Of course, you're going through grief. And the Karmelo Anthony family is going through grief. But his Christian ways didn't show up the night that he was on TikTok not that long ago. Right here. Yes, Austin's dad is one hell of a man. And then here's more comments in her comment section by John. He said he forgave Karmelo. He stood up to the racist boy. Say he is a pretty strong individual, but he's racist himself, Dose. He's racist himself. Roger said this: I think Jeff Metcalf is the wisest one out of everyone involved in this situation. Oh, not anymore. When he forgave Karmelo, he told everyone not to make this about race. That's when I knew he was a stand-up guy. Sister, you're completely, how can I say this? You're completely wrong. He's not the stand-up guy that you think he is because he's been exposed, okay? See, Jeff Metcalf wants you to think that he's this friendly realtor. I guess he used to be a realtor in the Dallas area. He wants you to think that he's this friendly realtor guy like this.
Hi, I'm Jeff Metcalf, and I've lived in DFW for over 40 years. My extensive knowledge of the Dallas area gives me an advantage when searching for homes, and the relationships I've built makes me the ideal agent for marketing a home for sale. I'm highly customer service driven, and I want to make sure that my clients are not only happy at the end of a transaction, but can rely on me for advice long after they have closed. If you want a savvy, experienced agent who knows DFW, give me a call.
You want a savvy, experienced agent that knows DW? I wonder if the people who were watching that ad know that he subscribes to the racist belief system. I just wonder, you know, because he's on there looking like your friendly neighborhood realtor on there, right? But then he has another side to him. I just want y'all to see that. I'm putting it all together here, and let's get ready to see what you're here for. Let's hear this right now. Check this out. We're going to let it play a few times so you can get it seared into your head what he said and did. Check this out.
So rational and smart. If someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me,
answer the question. Yes or no? Does it?
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay,
him.
Man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah, you heard that for yourself, just me. You
so rational and
now he said a few things that I want to clarify with everybody. I'm going to play it some more. He told the one brother that was talking to him, I think they were going back and forth about what constitutes self-defense. Jeff Metcalf says that if someone touches you, doesn't mean you should stab them. The brother was saying, well, it depends on how hostile the situation is, right? So the conversation got heated, and you later heard Jeff. That's his voice. That is his voice. I'll play back that commercial I played of him. That's his voice. He told that brother, you need to go somewhere. And I'm saying to myself, well, where does he need to go? Are you saying he needs to go back to Africa? Does he need to be in this place? When we talk about this, he is from Texas. Texas is a racist place too. So that's interesting that he would say you need to go somewhere. Then the one black woman on there said that, Jeff, you are a racist prick. And then he said, you are a ninja, B word. We're going to play it back.
If someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me.
Answer the question. Yes or no? Does it
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
He said, man, why don't you go somewhere where you belong? Another thing, after I let this finish playing, I'm going to play that commercial again so that you can compare and contrast the voice, because damn it, that's him. Some people are going to try to say on this video, oh, that's not him. This was on a TikTok video. It's been confirmed. And I'm going to play a video for you next by Dominique Alexander. I'm not a big fan of the brother. He has a bad background. I agree with the lead attorney on these YouTube streets that it could hurt this case because of that man's background. And I'm going to display what his background is again on this channel tonight. But he put out a TikTok video talking about hearing this man, and he knows what this man sounds like. So I know the haters out there are going to say, it ain't him, it ain't him. No, it's been confirmed. It is him talking on this panel. And we're going to let you hear his voice to get on that commercial, because the tonality of his voice is the same, and it is him. And these people are calling him who he is. He came on here on this lady's TikTok, Miss Just Me. She has a big TikTok channel. She's got 316,000 subs on that channel, something like that. And he came on there. People were asking him questions, and things went far left. But let this finish playing.
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Did you hear that, everybody?
Yeah, you heard that for yourself, just me.
Now, let me let you hear this right here. Compare and contrast the voice. Here is his voice on his commercial.
Hi, I'm Jeff Metcalf, and I've lived in DFW for over 40 years. My extensive knowledge of the Dallas area gives me an advantage when searching for homes, and the relationships I've built makes me the ideal agent for marketing a home for sale.
So rational and smart. If someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me,
answer the question, yes or no. Does it?
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done.
Let me go over here and do this. What do you all think? I want to. What do you all think? Let me do something. Let me take this off. Let me go back to over here. And what do you all think? Okay. We got the informant media. We got Last Call. We got D. Allen Warren. Last Call, what's up? We got Fly Seas. We got Alicia, everybody who's been rocking with me. Oh, Reliable. Make sure you go over to and drop, if you can, the mods, any of the mods, drop the link to the Truth Media Vlogs channel. I got a new video over there talking about not Art Kelly, but the P. Diddy situation. It's only 18 minutes. Check that out when this stream is over, please, and share that video of that video too over there, and subscribe if you have not. But yeah, it is crazy, Alicia. Well, damn. Yeah, well, damn, Last Call. And who paid him to say all of that BS? Let me see. Thank you for putting that in there, Alicia. Let me see. Collaway, let me see. I think Metcalf should stay off the internet because it's not a good look for him. Right, it isn't a good look for him, but I think that I think he shouldn't be doing it, but I'm glad he's doing it because why? It's exposing him for who he is. And it also opens the door for the defense team or anybody to say, you know what? Could his kids, he's talking like this. Could his kids have been saying something? How can I say this? Is there a chance that his kids, Hunter Metcalf and Austin Metcalf, said something also racial to Karmelo Anthony? Could there have been some racial stuff said too? Who knows? Because as they always say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It just doesn't, everybody. And Jeff Metcalf, in my opinion, gets a big fat D for this. If he got up there and acted a fool like this. Imagine if Karmelo Anthony's father was to be on a live stream acting up like this or saying something to white people or saying what he really wants to say when he's got all the white supremacists lying on his family. What do you think the media would do? They would play it 2 times over. They would say, oh, look at this. The father of Karmelo Anthony is no better than his son. This is where his son learned it from. You know they would do that. They would double it down. They would double it down. Y'all know it. SSD is in the house. Racist. Yeah, and racist antics. Get out of here, ninja. Stabbed. Let me see. Empress has come in. She's saying, I'm glad that his true feelings have been exposed and we will not accept a right. This is why I'm glad that I hope he continues to go on social media to expose how he really feels. See, I like to know. This is what's great about the time that we live in. Everything that's going on with the Trump administration, everything that's going on, racist people are showing you how they really feel. That they're no longer hiding. They're just coming out and saying it. And I like that. I want to know just where they stand when they come out and speak their mind. So, yeah, he might have said what he said to that dude, Jeff, the Proud Boys member that I played not too long earlier when his sister thought that, oh, he's a swell guy now, right? But his true colors comes out. at the end of the day. And let's hear some more of this.
Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
Now he tells the brother, go somewhere where you belong. And the question I'm wondering, and I want all of you to wonder is, well, where does he belong? Does he not belong in this country? Because we see that Trump and his administration, they're trying to make America white again. They've even brought racist Afrikaners over here. They're doing everything to destroy the environment. The situation that happened in Texas with all the flooding, that you guys know that that Trump's administration cut back on a lot of programs that battle against climate change, programs and money that the state of Texas needed to deal with these sort of natural disasters. That his administration has been cutting back on so many things that the hens are coming home to roost. Well, Jeff Metcalf, the hens are coming home to roost on you because you exposed yourself. You got into the kitchen and you couldn't handle the heat, and now you've been exposed in this way. And I think it's a good thing.
The real. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah, you heard that for yourself, just me.
That's the man here
So rational
on the
and smart.
commercial.
If someone...
Hi, I'm Jeff Metcalf, and I've lived in DFW for over 40 years. My extensive knowledge of the Dallas area gives me an advantage when searching for homes and the relationships.
Now, I wonder, everybody, here I go with my speculation. I wonder how many black people did he put in bad homes? He's a realtor, right? Remember redlining, where they would keep black people out of certain communities? I wonder if he believes that black people belong somewhere, then I wonder, as a realtor, allegedly, is he fair when his clients have been black? When a black couple is looking for a home, is he showing them the best property for the best price? You got to wonder these things when he just said to that guy, you belong somewhere, right? Right? Come on, y'all. Come on.
So rational and smart. If someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me.
Answer the question, yes or no. Does it
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The real. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pulling out of that. I played it a few times so it can give full effect in your mind and full effect to anybody that watches this video. Now, let me play Dominique Alexander, who is the spokesperson for the family. He's a member of the New Action Network. I don't like the guy personally. I think he's bad for the look of the case. He's bad for the family to have him as their spokesperson. He's not the lawyer, but he's a spokesperson, and it doesn't look good. Okay? This is the guy that's been chopping at the bits a lot, talking, right? Likes a lot of attention. You could tell he likes being in the limelight. There go the family, the mother. I believe the mother is actually the stepmother of Karmelo Anthony. There go the father, and there he is himself running his mouth, Dominique, who has quite a background in history. And I'm gonna have to, I did this on the Truth Media channel. I got to do this on this channel. I'm gonna expose a little bit about him that I think is not going to be vote well for the Karmelo Anthony family. Here he is on this video right here. Let me stop this right here and bring it back. Here he is on this day in question, taking Karmelo Anthony out of jail when he was out on a bail and going home. And a lot of the white supremacists didn't like it. They thought that he was supposed to stay in there, that he didn't have a right to any bail. But he did get bail. He's not a flight risk. This young man is not a flight risk. And this is when he came outside with the media hounding all over him. And there is Dominique Alexander, who I think is trying to reinvent himself, trying to reinvent his career as an activist and what have you. And remember, they were walking. There go Karmelo Anthony. This is from another direction as they are getting into the car. Let me get to the car part. They get into the car. They're asking questions. And there they are getting in the car right there. Karmelo Anthony is in the seat right there. And remember this was everybody went crazy over seeing this young man come out of jail on bail. People didn't like that. The white supremacists, the usual suspects didn't like it. But hey, that's the legal system. He had the money that they had to raise to get him out. So therefore they did. And he stands on 10 toes down that it was self-defense. And we will see what happens when this goes to trial. Let's go ahead and let you see this man, Dominique Alexander's response to what he witnessed on this stream. And he also, I think, to me, reinforces that was Jeff Metcalf on that video. Let's go right ahead and play this for you, shall we? Check this out. Here we go.
Hello, y'all. This is Minister Dominique Alexander. I just wanted to take this time to respond to all of the inboxes and emails that we have been receiving about a TikTok live stream, if I'm saying it correctly. Please don't quote me. I told y'all yesterday I'm very new to TikTok, so I don't know all the different things that go on this platform. But I was given a video where it displayed Austin Metcalf's father, Jeffrey Metcalf, having an interaction with an African-American female where he used a racial slur towards her by calling her a nigger, right? The sad part is this is what we've been dealing with since the beginning of the case, right? When we first got this case, it was because of all of the racial tension that was around this case. And many looked at us like we were doing it. When I've been very careful with my words with this Karmelo Anthony case, but also at the same time, highlighting the obvious in this situation. Jeffrey Metcalf,
can y'all hear me?
Actions have been justified and yet grieving. And that's yet problematic because yet you still need to be held accountable for your behavior. And you don't get a pass on calling a black woman a nigga bitch, you know what I mean? And so, quote my words, you don't get that pass. And yet
I want to stop it right there. I think I might have had my microphone off for a moment there. I'm sorry that there was some dead air there for a minute. I was basically saying that I'm not a big fan of Alexander, Dominique Alexander, because he does have a criminal past that does not look good for Karmelo Anthony and his family. That's where I agree with the lead attorney who says that he think it could hurt their case because this man does not have a clean background. Here's a mugshot of him right there. I'm going to get into that in just a moment and give you some more details. But what I was saying is that he validates that that's also was Jeff Metcalf on there because he heard it and he recognized the voice. He recognized who it was. So for those of you out there who say, oh, that wasn't him, this man saw it live when it was brought to his attention, or at least he saw the video and he knows that it's Jeff Metcalf. That's why he did this video talking about how disturbing it was. But I'm just saying that this is what he did. He's a spokesperson for the family. I don't agree with him being the spokesperson. I think they should not have him as a spokesperson because he just has too much baggage that does not look good for the Karmelo Anthony family having him as a spokesperson. As I said before, I think he's trying to reinvent himself. I think he's trying to use this situation with this young man and his family as a way to build up his reputation, reinvent himself, and be sort of an Al Sharpton type of individual. Let's get back to this again. And I'm sorry that my mic was not working at one point in time. Put sevens in the chat room if you can hear me. Put sevens in the chat room if you're down, you're following along the program, that is making sense to you, how I have constructed this program today. Everybody, let's get back to this right now.
It is a disrespect, very disrespect to the delicacy of this situation. But at the end of the day, this is one of the reasons why the father of Karmelo Anthony has repeatedly asked this man, stop coming to his job, stop harassing him. He don't want to talk to you. Him coming to my office, even being asked to leave more than several times.
So Dominique Alexander is saying that Jeff Metcalf has been harassing the father in the family, that he's showing up. Well, I think Dominique is saying that he's showing up to his office, and I think he has shown up to Karmelo Anthony's father. Now, from what I understand, they said that he's been the family's having a hard time financially because people are showing up to the job, and that's becoming a problem. I thought that the father took a leave of absence from his job because people are showing up and harassing him, and people are leaving things on their front door of their home and what have you. But he's saying that Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf. Now, look, I understand. He's angry. His son is no longer alive. Obviously, Karmelo Anthony stabbed him. So, yeah, he's going to feel some kind of way. He's going to feel some kind of anger. I get that. But I didn't know if what Alexander is telling you is correct here. I had no idea that because I haven't heard this whole video. I had no idea that he may have been wow. This is crazy, y'all. That he may have been harassing them. Let's go.
Is one of the reasons why the father of Karmelo Anthony has repeatedly asked this man, stop coming to his job, stop harassing him.
He said it, everybody. He said it. Karmelo Anthony's father has repeatedly told Jeff Metcalf to stop coming to his job. Now, I believe what Dominique is saying. Why would Dominique lie? I mean, he's got some criminal history. But I think he's telling the truth because he's trying to be the next big thing. He's trying to be the next big Al Sharpton. And he's not that far from it because just like Al Sharpton has slick back hair, Dominique had slick back hair as well. And you can see in one of his mugshots right here. It's crazy. Let's continue.
He don't want to talk to you. Him coming to my office, even being asked to leave more than several times. This erratic behavior.
Now look, the informant media, you're absolutely right. You shouldn't be Jeff Metcalf should not be coming to his job. He should be waiting for due process for the legal system to take place when they go to court. Can you imagine if Karmelo Anthony's father and mother was coming to that man's job? And you know damn well they would be saying the same thing. Oh, this is harassment. His family are thugs because just like their son's a thug, the family's a thug.
Has not been checked because it's get fueled by a movement of hate, right? And so, you know, with this being a very delicate case, you know, we've been trying to respond and make sure that we respond that does not hurt Karmelo Anthony in his case of his defense, right? But I just want people to know
this. You, Dominique Alexander, could also be an impediment on this case with your very shady background, brother. We must tell the truth, okay? We must. Let's continue.
He's showing his true colors, and let him keep on being this crash dummy, keep on talking and doing what he's doing. He's only showing the world his true colors, and the reality is that I don't care what nobody says. about me saying this, right? The reality is the reality. He don't get a pass. It's not okay for him to call a black female a nigga. And yet, if
I would agree.
anybody feel like
I would agree, even though Dominique has a past that I don't agree with, everything he's saying here remains the truth and cannot be disputed what he just said. Everybody, are you with that? I see everybody putting exactly and putting sevens in the chat room. We got Peggy Roster here. Alicia is here. We got Reese from Philly that's in the house. What's going on, my brother? Sometimes you forget who the real victims are. Stop trolling. We know that Austin Metcalf got stabbed. I'm not denying that. I've said it a bunch of times that I think it's a horrible thing. I wish it never happened. I wish that Karmelo Anthony never did this because he's looking at doing some serious time in prison if he loses the case. And if it comes out in the wash that the video doesn't work in his favor, whatever video they've got that they've collected from people's cell phones, then he will go to jail. But right now, until we see all the evidence, the young man said that he was defending himself because they were messing with him. And that's the first thing he said to the police when the police approached him. Let's continue.
like that is okay, you can go to hell. And so with that being said, I just wanted to make sure that people heard from me what is going on. This is one of the reasons why all of the false lies is continuing to be spreaded regarding the Karmelo Anthony case, right? These hateful agenda, these platforms, these white supremacist platforms that are created where these people have these large followings, y'all, that I've never heard of a day in my life, right? And all of them are so-called journalists, and they got breaking news, and they got all this. Like, we have to wake up and realize what is currently going on in America, right? When it comes to racism, right? I don't want to say it, but the reality is, being a president of a civil rights organization, I have to speak truth to power. I have to call it out. I have to educate people, right? And yet at the end of the day, I want to say this word because they like to say it. They like to call us a race baiter. And I'm like, race baiter? You know, race is the reality that I live in every day. It's a sad reality. It's a reality that I don't want to live in. It's a reality that I don't want to educate my black African-American sons, that one day somebody might judge you because of the color of your skin and not the content of your character or how many A's or B's you get in school, right? I don't want to teach my children that, but I have to teach my children that if I want to keep them safe. And the reality is over 400 years of yet slavery and oppression of black people, I'm not going to sit here and do an injustice to my ancestors and the people who sacrificed and did so much.
So you can see that he's doing the Al Sharpton routine. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist. Y'all know my position on these things. I've done plenty of videos pointing it out, just like this one. See, if Dominique Alexander didn't have such a questionable background, I could respect more of what he's saying. But it's hard for me when I show you the video that I'm going to show you tonight before we end this program. Let's continue.
Whose shoulders I sit on right now by yet allowing silence to yet contribute to yet violence, right? And so with that being said, I just wanted people to hear from me. That conduct is yet indicative of what we've continued to say from the beginning of this case, right? And I just want people to know, man, just take it for what it is, right? And there are going to be a number of people that defend him and call it grieving and call it this and all of those different types of stuff, right? You challenge him on something, he gets mad, and yet he start acting erratic, right? It's the same continued pattern, right? Luckily, NGAN has been doing this more than 11 years, and we're true to this, not new to this. And the reality is that sending idle threats to me, you know, it's pretty much a waste of time. But the reality is, this is what we live in. This is the world that we live in, right? And so I just want to thank everybody who sent that to us to make sure that we was aware of it. And y'all, this is going to be a long stretch, but like I said, we'll see you at trial.
All right. So right there he says it's a long stretch, but we're going to see you at trial. Once again, he's not the lawyer for the family, but he's a spokesperson. Some of what he said I could rock with if it wasn't for the man's deeds that don't look good. I have to... I'm going to get into his deeds, but let me put this comparison. A lot of people keep telling us not to compare the Karmelo Anthony situation to Kyle Rittenhouse. Well, we are going to do it. Here it is. Here's a chart right here. We got Rittenhouse on the left side. We got Karmelo Anthony on the right side. And check this out. Kyle Rittenhouse is still receiving money in his funding to this day, but everybody's making a hell of beans over Karmelo Anthony getting money for his defense. So Rittenhouse in a town he was not a resident of, protesting at a track meet he was supposed to be at. Okay, Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 years old, carrying a gun, federally outlawed until age 18. So he had no business with the weapon that he had, that he used to take the lives of people. Karmelo Anthony, age 17, carrying a knife. And we know that carrying knives in Texas is commonplace, just as common as people carrying firearms. Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked after warning attackers he would shoot them. He would fire his firearm. Karmelo Anthony was attacked after warning attackers he would defend himself. Okay? Kyle Rittenhouse deleted 2 people and injured 1. Karmelo Anthony deleted 1, took the life of Austin Metcalf. Both warned their attackers. One had a firearm, one had a knife. Here we go again. Kyle Rittenhouse raised $586,940 from conservatives for legal defense. Well, turn out that this young man got over, I think, $2 million. It went up. It went even further than that. Karmelo Anthony, conservatives want legal defense fund shut down or legal garnishment. Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted based on self-defense. Karmelo Anthony, conservatives want heaviest legal sentence on him. I just wanted to give y'all some comparison and contrast. Did y'all see what I put up on the screen? Put 7s there.
Kevin True.
Yeah, get that troll, block that troll out of here. Get your butt out of here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for getting them out of here. Get out of here. You've been, you put them in 86K second. Yeah, get out of here. If you don't like the heat in this kitchen, you can get out of here. Now, I'm a fair broker here. This man right here is problematic, just like the lead attorney said here on these YouTube streets. There is a problem, and I think it's going to hurt the family if they don't relinquish him as a lead person talking, because this man has problems. Dominique Alexander in Dallas, a Dallas activist, was jailed again after arrest in Denton County. A judge issued a warrant Wednesday after prosecutors motioned for Alexander's bond to be held insufficient, a common request when a defendant has been arrested on another charge or is accused of violating the conditions of his bond. Come on, man. What are you doing out here? Alexander, here's one of his mug shots. Here's many of his mug shots. You see right here, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This man's got 9 or 8 mug shots over the years. This is mug shot sheet right here. I don't like it, folks. It is what it is, but I don't like it. Here is him in his pimped out Superfly looking days.
Tell the truth.
Johnny Walker, what's going on? You say, I don't know anyone in here. Why would they choose him as an attorney? He's not an attorney. Let's correct that. He's not an attorney. He's a spokesperson. He's a part of some civil rights organization called the New Action Network. I think he's trying to reinvent himself by using the young man's case to reinvent himself. What he said earlier about Jeff Metcalf, I agreed with. It's just kind of hard to swallow what he says for me personally when he has such a questionable background. And I think the family needs to rethink him as a spokesperson. Let you see the unfortunate video here.
With breaking news, a well-known activist has been charged with domestic violence. Police have just arrested Dominique Alexander and taken him to jail. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Lawrence.
And I'm Cynthia Aguirre. We were right there when officers took Alexander to jail, searching his pockets, preparing him to be booked. Rebecca Lopez joins us live from the Lou Sterrett jail with much more tonight. Rebecca?
Well, the Dallas Police fugitive unit actually picked up Dominique Alexander just a little while ago. And again, he is inside this jail. He has been charged with 1 count felony assault, serious bodily injury, and 1 count misdemeanor assault. Now, News 8 was the only station there when he was brought in, and here's what he had to say to our cameras.
Found it.
This unfortunate situation, and at the end of the day, I just ask that the community continue to pray for my family.
Now, Alexander has
He wants the community to pray for his family, but man, stop messing and harming your family. God, man, I hate that they have this man representing them when he's got this kind of background. Let's hear it again.
This unfortunate situation, and at the end of the day, I just ask that the community continue to pray for my family.
Now, Alexander has a long criminal history, including injury to a child, and we just learned some more information about what his girlfriend says recently happened to her. Recently, activist Dominique Alexander was protesting the assault of a woman in Deep Ellum, but behind the scenes, his girlfriend says he was assaulting her. Jeff Wood helps Alexander run the Next Generation Action Network.
And it would be utter hypocrisy for us to stand here today and not cry out with all that we are, with just as much gusto, that we are opposed to violence against women in any shape or form, no matter where it takes place.
WFAA has learned more about the allegations. Sources say there are 2 police reports. In the first incident, the victim says on April 10th, she and Alexander were arguing when he pushed her, causing her to injure her foot and then attempted to choke her. She now has a broken toe.
In this situation, it was very clear that something had happened, something, very hurtful, very evil.
In the second alleged altercation, just a couple of days later, she says Alexander slammed a door, then headbutted her, causing pain. Sources say he told the victim he knows the chief of police and the DA, so who is she going to call? Chief Hall has sought Alexander's advice and often meets and communicates with him. And city manager T.C. Broadnax put him on a committee to help select Chief Hall. This has raised eyebrows considering Alexander is a known convicted felon who pled guilty to shaking a 2-year-old baby in 2011. And he has a lengthy criminal record. WFAA has obtained a report from Arlington police from 4 years ago. Sources say Alexander assaulted the same girlfriend while she was pregnant. And the report states he began taking his frustrations out on her and pushed her multiple times. We asked Mayor Mike Rawlings why he's been allowed to sit on these committees with a history of domestic violence.
Well, all I know is to take care of what I can do and what I can control. I didn't do that. When he broke up a city council meeting, okay, I walked out on that because we're not going to do that. And I knew his background and I wasn't going to honor that.
But you put him on.
Alexander has taken to social media denying the allegations and talking about how God will see him through this. We asked Chief Hall for comment about her association with Alexander. She did not return my email. Also, Alexander faces some very serious injuries, and now it's up to the Dallas District Attorney to take this case further, although Alexander did campaign for him. So it will be interesting to see what happens next with District Attorney John Creuzot. Back to you guys.
All right, let's keep it up.
As you can see, everybody, this is crazy. This is why he should not represent the I mean, I would say, hey, I hate to show that, but I would have no integrity if you run across some information about someone who is putting themselves out there as a representative in this situation. I think people need to know the facts about the guy. And this is why I think him being associated with the family in this sensitive case, where Karmelo Anthony, I think he just turned 18 years old. He's 18 years old now, and his whole future could be in the balance here, could be jeopardized. And to have a guy who has this sort of salty background, doing a lot of the talking, not his lawyer, but a spokesperson with this new generation action network, which I guess someone in the chat room said that this is a creation of the Al Sharpton. And you know what I find interesting is that Dominique Alexander, here's his mugshot right here again. Guess what he is? He's a preacher. What is it with black people who get themselves in trouble, and then when they get out of prison and jail, all of a sudden they run to the church and become a preacher? And now because they became a preacher, all should be forgiven. And now they born again. They a new man. Now, it doesn't mean that people can't change their life. I think everybody deserves a second chance, depending on what they did. This man did something to a child. That's, to me, unforgivable. But some things you shouldn't get a second chance on. Some things you can, some things you can't. I think in this case, he shouldn't, and he shouldn't be involved with this case as it relates to Karmelo Anthony, who was a minor before turning 18, when this man has something in his record towards a child of his own. It's a bad look. And I don't know why the family, maybe I'm wrong for this, I don't know why the family has not dropped him off the, and you know why I think they may have not dropped him, because they're getting benefits from the resources of the organization that he's a part of, the New Generation Action Network. I think that's what it is. I think that they probably can't ill afford to drop him, because by dropping him, they lose out on the resources and the security and what have you that this organization that he's the president of in that particular area of Texas. I think they're in a catch-22, because they probably are benefiting from the resources, the protection. I know they're giving them security. They probably are the ones that have been involved in helping them select a attorney. So I think they're already knee deep in with this guy because of those reasons. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me what you think. I think that might play a little bit into this. What do you all think in the chat room? Thank you for being here and what have you. Johnny Walker comes in and I guess he had to be, hitting and blocked out. He came in here with some BS. And that's why we have a great chat room over here and great folks in the chat room that know when it's time to get rid of people. See, in this chat room, we give you a little bit of life. But then when you cross the line, they put the hammer on you. And that's just the facts.
Information is power.
Johnny Walker, you said, what did I do? What did you say? Did you say something inappropriate? Let me see here. I'll publish a bunch of videos on that clown. He's truly, I hate his, okay. Now, what clown are you talking about? Are you talking about Jeff Metcalf? Or are you talking about your dislike for Dominique, as I have exposed some of his stuff? But I have, let's not get this twisted. As I've talked about Dominique, don't get this twisted, everybody. The majority of this program tonight is about Jeff Metcalf, his racism, him calling a black woman a B and an N-word. Very nasty guy. This guy right here said some nasty things. This man right here. He is the thick of the content tonight. Let's get it right. Some of you coming in, you might have missed when I exposed this guy or the content that exposes him. Make sure you do me the biggest favor and look at the replay of this video. Also, share this video on all your social media because you know YouTube is not going to push this out there. So I need you guys to help push this video in your social media pages. Put it out there to people to see this video. See this man that I've exposed tonight for his effery. And once again, Dominique needs to be out of this. But let me put something up here that I think is necessary, everybody. And this is some of the rumor mill about the family. This is going to take us home for the end of the video. I want to put this up here because there's been a lot of stuff that's been put out about the family and Karmelo Anthony that's not necessarily true. So let's put this up here right now. Karmelo Anthony's lawyer drops a bombshell claim about his client's innocence in murder of Austin Metcalf. Let's go more into this, everybody. This is what his lawyer said. And by the way, everybody kept saying that the family is trying to get a public defender instead of having a private lawyer. That's not true. Their lawyer is Mike Howard, who is well decorated as a lawyer in the Texas area. He used to be a public defender a long time ago, but has his own private practice and is a well decorated lawyer within this area. So people have put out lies about them getting rid of a good lawyer that's a private lawyer to go for a public defender. I think they got it mixed up because Mike Howard used to be a public defender. Says right here, it's only in a trial that a jury will hear the full story. One of that includes critical facts and context that the grand jury simply did not get to hear, Howard said to ABC 11. That's his lawyer. So there's other things that the grand jury did not see that his lawyer already knows about. We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense. This is another thing that I saw too. There's a video. Damn it, and I meant to play this video for you guys, and I clipped it. There's a video where a defense lawyer, a lawyer who knows Texas law says that the laws of self-defense are very tough laws in Texas, and that it's going to be very difficult for the prosecution to prove that Karmelo Anthony was not acting in self-defense, particularly if the video shows it, and if the video does not show a clear-cut view. And there's no clear-cut view from cell phone. He's saying that the prosecution will have a hard time because the burden is not on the defense team. The burden is on the prosecution to prove why it was not self-defense. And under the laws of self-defense and stand your own ground in Texas, they said that it will be very difficult, unless they got the smoking gun that proves that Karmelo Anthony wasn't defending himself, that outside of that, it will be difficult for the prosecution to prove it out, especially if the video shows that Austin Metcalf, Hunter Metcalf, were the aggressors towards the young man. I'm not saying that people should start using knives on people, that kids should start using. I don't like it. I wish that none of this happened. I wish that this story didn't exist, that I wasn't making videos on any of this, because it does not exist. I wish that this whole situation didn't exist, because that would mean that young Karmelo Anthony would not have to worry about whether he'll spend the rest of his life or a big part of his life in prison. And Austin Metcalf would not be unalived right now. And both these families would not have to be entangled with each other, and we wouldn't have to worry about anybody harassing anybody. But that's not the reality that we're in. That's just the truth of the matter. Let me read more for you. Karmelo Anthony's lawyers have suggested, let me go back up here. Back over here. Karmelo Anthony's lawyer has suggested that there will be no doubt in the jury's mind that the teenager was defending himself when he killed Austin Metcalf. These clips that I'm reading to you come from articles, particularly this article right here, titled, Karmelo Anthony's lawyer drops a bombshell claiming about his client's innocence in a murder of Austin Metcalf. Look that one up. Here is another article. Karmelo Anthony's parents are getting slammed for blowing through $540K or $538K, I've heard, in donations and asking for additional $1.4 million. Is that true? Is this true, or is this just lies that are being put out there by people on social media? What do you all think? What have you been hearing? The teenager has been charged with first-degree murder for stabbing Austin Metcalf early this year, and his family had raised over $500,000 via Give, Send, Go. Remember, people lied and said that the family had a GoFundMe. That was a lie. That wasn't true. There was some rumor about an uncle or a cousin that might have opened up something, but the family themselves never did. Gifts and Go, the CEO of Gifts and Go said that there's been no improprieties, no shady stuff going on with the money. But people still making up lies about the family when the CEO himself came out and said, no, there's nothing shady going on. So is it true that they spent all the money on cars and a house? Now, the reports are saying that they need the money for protection of the family, to possibly relocate. Maybe they've relocated by now, to survive. But you know what's crazy? People don't realize that $500,000 ain't nothing to retain lawyers. People are complaining about them or making rumors about them going for a public defender, but don't realize that private lawyers cost a lot of money. Your legal defense costs a lot of money. Y'all not complaining about Daniel Penny and the money that he got to raise for his defense. You didn't complain about the money that Kyle Rittenhouse got for his defense. And by the way, Kyle Rittenhouse is still collecting money. But when it comes to a black person, we got white folks and even black folks that's criticizing the family for getting money. Because I think sometimes we hate ourselves and we hate each other. So we don't want to see, when it comes to money, we have a problem with seeing other black people get money, even if it's for legal expenses, maybe even living expenses, because both the parents have had a hard time with their employment situation. And I'm sure if Jeff Metcalf has been coming up to Karmelo Anthony's father's job, I'm sure his supervisors and bosses are telling him, we can't have this, sir. We can't have this man coming up here. You need to take some time off. And we were told that he was going to take some. Let's continue. Despite receiving said amount, they recently requested a public defender, as obviously suggested that they aren't able to afford one for trial. The last time I checked, their lawyer is Mike Howard. I looked this up. They don't have a public defender. This was something that was a misinformation put out there by the haters. Let's put this up right here. After raising $540,000, Karmelo Anthony requested a taxpayer-funded public defender, claiming that indigent, that they were, they don't have any money. They're indigent. Look, you can actually run through $500,000, everybody. Do you guys agree or disagree with that? If you're dealing with heavy legal issues, if you got a lot of heavy legal issues, you could actually, thank you for blocking him out permanently. Don't let that Johnny Walker come in here anymore. Could you burn through a lot of money, like $500,000? Could you burn through that if you're using that money for legal defense? Maybe to feed yourself? Maybe to pay some bills if you're not able to work like you want to because you got people giving you death threats, people harassing you. What do you all think? I agree. Whoa. SSD says yes. Yeah, I think you could find yourself needing to use some of that money. Now, let's see if this is all true, though. Let's go over here. We're almost close to conclusion, everybody. This is in the first, check this out. This is somebody criticizing a family. Check this out. This is not the first time I felt bad for Karmelo Anthony. Yes, he murdered a kid, but his family raised money off of evil public sentiments to provide for a excellent legal defense, then kept it all for themselves. Truly an evil family. That's not true. How do you know they kept it all for themselves? They did not drop their private lawyer and Mike Howard. He still remains the lawyer. See, this is all foolishness. The Anthonys are asking for $1.4 million so they can seek a safe relocation following the death threats, as well as for legal expenses, security equipment, counseling, legal counseling, and a team of investigators. That costs money, y'all. That costs money. All of that costs money. Security, people to do investigations, that costs money. How could they that money to buy a house and car and still be able to keep a team of people together to fight for their son's defense? You can't do that. Let's put this up here. Here's a breakdown of what the source indicated. Significant donations. The family has raised over $500,000 through Give, Send, and Go. The purpose of the funds, the family has stated that the majority of the funds are intended for Karmelo Anthony's legal defense, relocation, and security. Some of the funds will also be used for family security and relocation due to threats received. No evidence. This is from the CEO of Give, Send, and Go. No evidence of misuse of Give, Send, and Go. Co-founder confirmed that no funds were distributed as of April 2025. Remember, that's back when they were being accused of stuff, and that they were working with the family to clarify the intent use of the donations. That's the co-founder of the damn site. Despite claims, the family has disputed claims that they used the funds to buy a house, stated that they had not even received the funds at one point. This is true. In summary, while the family has received subsequent donations, the available information does not suggest that the money has been misused or blown through. Give, Send, and Go co-founder says the family has been clear about using the bulk of the funds for legal defense, indicated that the family also plans to use some of the money for their security and housing. Okay? That's the people that they get. So what are we talking about here, everybody? It's important to note that the term blown through applies to the wasteful spending, while there has been questions raised about the family's living situation. The family and the Give, Send, Go platform have stated that the funds are being used legitimately for purpose of legal reasons. I said that, I'm going to say that again. Regarding Karmelo Anthony, there was a mention of his family needing additional funds to get by while his father was on leave from work. And the GoFundMe account was created to help with legal fees. Now, the GoFundMe, now maybe, let me just say this, maybe they have a GoFundMe now, but they did not have one in the beginning, was created to help with legal fees. However, the amount of $1.4 million is not specifically stated in the provided context as a amount being sought by the father. See, people lie that the father was asking for $1.4 million, when in fact, that's not exactly what he said. Now, let me read further. Providing context as the amount being sought by the father. In fact, his bond was reduced from $1 million to $250,000. The figure of $1.4 million does not appear in the context of money being requested by either Karmelo Anthony. Now, it has Karmelo Anthony's name written wrong because Karmelo Anthony, the basketball player's name, keeps coming up in this. Karmelo Anthony's father. So people been lying about the request by the father. Sources indicate that the family of Karmelo Anthony and a teenager involved in a legal case hired an attorney. Their current attorney is named Mike Howard. While there are reports of him having requested a court-appointed lawyer, sources suggest that he has retained a private counsel and is still represented by Mike Howard. The family has been raising funds. So at one point in time, maybe they had requested, because this is what happened. This will show you how dumb people are. This is what happened. At one time, the family was not happy with the lawyer that they had. So I think they requested, and then they eventually got Mike Howard. That's where people are getting this mixed up with. Another thing, to request a lawyer in a case like this in law, the only way you get a court-appointed lawyer given to you is that you must prove that you meet the criteria of being indigent, meaning you have no money. You cannot afford your own counsel, or there is no private counsel who's volunteering to help you. So when you end up being seen as indigent, then the courts will appoint one. You have to go through a process. So if this was true, they would have to go through a process that the court would have to approve for such a situation. And so people are just out of here on social media, flying off at the mouth, saying things that are not true, just like claiming that there's a video that proves that he was the aggressor, when already you have legitimate journalists who have seen the video and said, you can't see shit. Y'all hear where I'm saying? Y'all hear where I'm going with this? Hit 7 in the chat room. We're about to get out of here. I thank everybody for being here tonight. Peace and blessing to you. I mean, I just want to keep it real with y'all. Okay? Once again, it's a shame that this happened. It was a crime. When you stab somebody, that's considered a crime, right? It's considered a crime. Karmelo Anthony is being indicted as an adult now. I remember I talked about that in my previous video, that they are going to try him as an adult. And in Texas, they do that often, where they will try you as an adult in these situations when you are 17. And then now he's 18. So he's going to be under heavy, heavy charges as an adult. Once again, I hate that this whole thing happened. I wish none of this happened. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. It's about telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
I want to thank you, everybody, for coming over tonight and being a part of this. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, you like how I do things over here, subscribe to the channel, share the video in all your social medias, share it with your friends, your family, anybody that you know that's interested in hearing more about this situation. Share the video with them, share it on your Facebook, share it wherever you can share it, because I would appreciate it. And thank you, everybody in the chat room. You're the best chat room in the business. Best everybody. From Last Call, from Empress, from Bill Gates. Dude using the N-word has a AS charge or something. Right. And I played, check this out. If you came into the show a little late, please replay this back. I got the receipt on that. That was on TikTok. I played it several times to drive home the point of his character. I drive home the point that Jeff Metcalf has definitely showed his racism, showed his white supremacy. He showed it. So that whole video where he was on there talking to that dude from the Proud Boys who Donald Trump let out of prison with the rest of those January 6 folks, where he was on there telling him, I'm not about the racial divide and take my son. He said all that good stuff on there that made people think, okay, maybe Jeff Metcalf ain't with that type of stuff. Well, he proved that he is. He not only called her an N-word, he called her a B-word. He also told a black man on that panel that he need to go somewhere. He need to be put somewhere. This is the truth, everybody.
Tell the truth.
You heard it on this channel tonight. I don't know how many people have put out a YouTube video about this. I might be one of the first in terms of YouTube streets. There might be somebody else out there. But I don't know how many people out there have given you a comprehensive breakdown, comparison and contrast, and have put it together the way I've done it tonight. Put 7s in the chat room if you're rocking with me. If you appreciate the content tonight, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you go over, after this video is over, go over to the Truth Media Vlogs channel. Look at the video that I did on P. Diddy. I think you might like that video and the way I recorded or the way I shot that video, because I put a lot of B-roll in that video. It's a vlog channel. So that channel, when I talk about different issues, I'm giving you a complete production because I'm doing it vlog style. You may see me out in the car. You might see me in the store shopping. You might see me somewhere talking about issues. You might see B-roll of me doing different stuff and putting it together in a nice edited package for you. Check that video out and subscribe to Truth Media Vlogs right now. You can scroll down on this channel right now and you will see all the channels that I have. You'll see the Prime Sports Media channel, sports channel that I have. I follow everything that's happening at CU with Coach Prime and Colorado. That channel's doing gangbusters over there. I'm doing great numbers over there. I've got the Truth Media Vlogs channel where I'm just going to do everything vlog style. And believe it or not, the dust is going to be wiped off the other channel, the Info Media Reacts. That channel is supposed to be a channel where I'm supposed to react to things that are happening in pop culture. So I'm going to get back to loading up videos over there where I'm reacting to certain pop culture issues. So you're going to see a lot of celebrity stuff on that channel, you know, where I'm looking at the celebrities and the rappers and all the things that's happening in pop culture and what have you. Stuff like calling out people like Fat Joe, who I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble too. So with that said, everybody, I thank you. I know I always say this. I'm going to keep saying it. I need to do some content on the Spreaker channel, the radio podcast. I have not done anything. I keep saying I'm going to do something over there, and I haven't done it. So I got old material on the radio podcast that you can find on Spotify, Spreaker, all the audio podcasts that you like listening to. And I must desperately need to load up a lot of new content over there. And my goal is to do so. Spreaker is cool because you can hear me live on there when I go live, like a radio show. So I've got to dedicate myself. I'm doing so much stuff, but I got to dedicate myself to putting content over there as well. That content will be different content from the audio, from the video version that you see right here. So I want to thank you. That's the Information Man Speaks podcast, everybody. Information Man Speaks podcast. If you put that in, it'll come up. All the materials on those podcasts are old, so I need to put new, fresh content on there, and that's my goal, to do so and to do it soon, not later. Shit, I need to do it tonight or tomorrow, but I need to do it. With that said, everybody, I want to thank you very much for your support tonight, for everything that you do. Once again, you can find me on Twitter or whatever the hell we call it these days. You can find me on Instagram at Information Man Show. You can find me on Facebook at Information Man Show as well and follow me over there. You also, if you like the sports channel, the Prime Sports Media channel that I have, I got about 84,000 followers or people that support me on the Prime Sports Media Facebook channel, Facebook page, should I say. Go over there and follow me on that page if you like the sports content as well. With that said, I'm about to get on out of here. Thank you. Everybody in the chat room, flowers for you. Alicia, Empress, everybody in this chat room. The Informant Media, make sure you check out his channel. He's got a channel. Last Call's got a channel. Check them out. People got channels in here. Check them out. Give them support. And we're going to make it do. What am I doing here? We're going to make it do what we can make it do. Like it says on this banner here, Jeff Metcalf was live on TikTok using the N-word. What a damn shame. Crazy.
Information is power.
I want to thank you all. Thank you. Peace and respect. Good night, everybody. Thank you for the support. BS3 Network, baby. BS3 Network can be heard. You can hear me live or pre-recorded on the BS3 Network.
Information is power.
Much love to everybody.
You've been listening to the Information Man Show. The Information Man Show is the truth. Yeah. Truth. We're gonna tell the truth. It's truth. We're gonna tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, baby. Yeah, truth. Tell the truth. Yeah. Tell the truth. Tell the damn truth. Shame the devil. Tell the damn truth. Shame the devil.
Information is power.